Hello everyone, and thanks for coming to my channel. Today's video is going to show some photos of Valentina and I. I'm also going to do a quick recap of our journey, and then at the end you'll get to see a video of us cantering. So this is a photo of Valentina and I on the day I brought her home, which was April 7th, 2020. So I haven't had her for long, but it's been a really long journey, and honestly, even though we've had our ups and downs, this has been some of the best months of my entire life. So Valentina is 10 years old. She just turned 10 in April of this year. She's an appendix quarter horse, and she's about 15'2". She's a real pretty bay color, as you can see, and she's got this really pretty white sock with black spots on her back left hoof. It's so cute. I took this photo after our first ride, and this was just me hosing her down and cooling her off since we are in Houston, Texas, and it's pretty much hot year-round. So when I first brought her home, our training consisted of pretty much walk trot because she was pretty green and I'm somewhat of a novice rider, so my trainer just really wanted to make sure that we were a good fit and that I knew how to steer her and handle her before we moved on to anything else. And this is just a cute photo of her munching down after one of our rides and a bath. So I just thought she was real cute, looking at me with a big mouthful of food. So this is one of the last photos I took of her before she had her significant injury, which I will explain in just a second for those of you who missed that video. As you can see, we are writing English, and I had planned to use her as a jumper, but due to her injury, we probably won't be able to do that. So shortly after I brought her home, either she injured herself out in the pasture or did something crazy when no one was looking. We don't really know, but she suffered a severe suspensory ligament injury, and upon having it ultrasounded and x-rayed and checked out by our amazing vet, we discovered that she had had a previous injury to the same spot that was significant enough to basically cause this new injury. So we're gonna have to change her training from here on out. So basically what we had to do was, for the first 2 weeks, she was in a compression bandage that I had to change every 4 days. She was not allowed to do anything but stall rest, and I had to give her a, squirt of bute paste once a day for those 14 days. And then the vet came back out and checked her, and since she was walking normal, she seemed okay, he allowed us to move into the rehab phase. Her rehab basically consisted of each week adding 5 more minutes of time to under saddle work. So we started out with walking only, then he allowed us to add some trotting, and then we progressed to a little more trotting and a little more walk, and so on and so forth. After our last vet check, he had his assistant trot her and walk her around, did a bunch of turns, and he flexed her and felt and basically just made sure there was no swelling, heat, any other signs of lameness. And he actually agreed that we were ready to try cantering. So that's what you will see at the end of this video. We do swap leads and may not start on the right lead several times, but when I got her, she was, like I said, green and still in training. So we've missed out on almost 3 months of training because of this injury. So we're having to start over with canter. So bear with us. We will work on getting our correct leads and not swapping. It's just hard to do when you're only allowed 2 minutes of canter on each side. So this photo was taken the day after I had decided that I was going to keep her. you know, when you have a significant injury of this type to a horse, you just got, you know, a lot of people have to make a financial decision to either give them back or sell them or what have you, so that they can have something they can actually ride. You know, they're very expensive animals. It's not a one-time payment. And when there's an injury involved, it can get really costly. And if you're looking for a horse so that you can actually compete and ride every day, it can be crushing when you end up with this kind of injury. So I was facing the decision of whether I keep her and risk never getting to do the things I wanted and spending a ton of money and time on her rehab, you know, or do I give her up and get something else? After lots of talks with my family members who know that my heart is of an animal lover and it's not easy for me to give up on them, I decided that I was going to keep her. And, you know, if we never get to do the things I wanted, that's okay. We can do trail rides, and I can just have her as a great bond and relaxation moment, and, you know, just have fun. I do love the sport I'm in, and I hope one day I can have a horse that I can do jumping with and whatever else I want to do. But for now, I just love her so much, and I'm hoping that we can get to a place where she's feeling great and we can at least have fun going on trail rides. This is just another photo of her in phase 1 of our injury process. Still got that horrible compression bandage on that she hated. But he, at this picture, agreed that she was okay enough for us to start walking her to graze. So that's what I was taking a photo of. Her enjoying some grass after being in stall rest for a whole week, with no bonding time with other horses or grass. So sometimes it's just nice to go out there and hang out with them while they eat. So on this day, I didn't have much time to work with her as my job started getting really crazy. So I went up there, and this was just after we grazed for a while, and I gave her some love. You know, sometimes just need to take a photo with your horse, and that's pretty much what this time was. She's really photogenic too. I just love her cute little face. So this was at the end of our phase 1 of rehab. I'm sorry, not rehab, of our injury process. So this was right before he allowed us to remove her compression bandage. And by he, I mean our vet. So once we were okayed to remove the compression bandage, we then switched to standing wraps for 3 weeks. And on the second week, we switched to wearing the standing wraps every other day. And then the third week, we weaned her off of them. Just another photo of me with my horse. This was after I had just taken off her compression bandage and cleaned off her leg because she had stuffed a bunch of stall shavings in there. You know how wonderful horses can be. And then I was going to be putting on a new bandage. And this was her very last day in the compression bandage. So I just took a nice photo of her looking off into the distance while we waited on the vet to show up. Just another cute photo. I had groomed her and was just loving on her. And I do believe this was the day that I bought a Beamer, and I was going to be doing a video trying it out on her. So this is a photo of her after I had moved her to a place closer to my house. It's a long story, but basically in order for me to keep her, the lady I adopted her from agreed to give me free board for a little bit. Like I said, long story, but anyways, I had started treating her using the Beamer technology I bought, and this is me treating her injury. I started doing this when we started rehab, so I would do it before every ride and then later on in the evening. This is a before photo, so this is the day I got her. on the bottom, and then the top photo is of her as of last week. She looks amazing. Talk about a glow up, am I right? So I took this photo after I had just finished our very first canter. After 3 months of rehab and so much time healing, I was just so incredibly happy. And that's what this picture captures. And lastly, another long story, I found this amazing boarding facility right down the street from my house that has 900 acres of trail. So I ended up moving her there, and this was me hugging her after we put her in her brand new stall. She was very nervous, and she really enjoys hugs, so I was just spending some time with her because I know she's moved a lot in the last few months, and I just, wanted to console her for a little bit. But she's doing absolutely amazing. I can do some videos with her later because I'm going there in an hour or two, and she seems really, really happy. All right, and this is our day 2 of canter, so please don't judge too hard. She was kind of spooking at the sprinklers outlining the new arena. We'd never ridden in this before, and the ground was just slightly damp because it had been pouring for the whole week. Lots of excuses, honestly, and yes, I know I'm bouncing like crazy out of the saddle. She's got a ridiculously bouncy canter, and I know I'm just gonna have to work on getting used to it and relaxing and sinking into the saddle. But like I said, we're only allowed 5 minutes of canter, and that's 2.5 minutes each direction, so it's not a whole lot to do much work. But I am gonna put in all kinds of work that she needs once we are allowed to do more than her rehab exercises. I definitely don't want to move too fast and cause another injury, so I just want to keep moving at her pace and do what the vet says, and until then, we may have some uh-ohs, but oh well, we're both learning. So if you're wondering what I yelled just then, she took up a canter without me asking, and that's why she was on the wrong lead. I tried circling to get her back, and she was just, this horse loves to run. So the fact that we are cantering, she was so freaking exciting. Off the video, every time I would stop, she wanted to keep going. Yes, she listens to me. She wasn't being rude. She was just telling me, hey, that was fun. I want to keep going. So it was a little hard for me to pull her back, especially because this was our very first canter on this new property, and it was windy and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, we're gonna get better. At least we were on the right lead for a little bit. That's all we can hope for, right? Thanks for watching, and I hope you come back and keep watching all of our progress. Follow me on my TikTok for more videos, not just of me and Valentina, but of all 3 of my dogs and my new kitten. I hope to see you again.